Today we'll be talking about how students can work towards getting a 36 on the ACT exam. This is Alexis Avila of Prepped and Polished. For tutoring in person or online, call us 781-753-9951 or chat with us instantly on our website, preppedandpolished.com. If you have any questions during or after this video, please ask us a question on our chat box on our website. We love hearing from you. And if you find this video helpful, smash that like button and subscribe. And today, we'll be talking about how students can work towards getting a 36 in the ACT exam. Now, this video is meant to help prioritize and focus in on what aspects of a student will allow him or her to get a 36 on the ACT. Most important factor when trying to determine how to best get a 36 on the ACT is motivation. Now, most students who are looking to take the ACT are looking at the ACT as a different test than the SAT to take based on their abilities and or skill set level. Now, one question I always ask students when looking for motivation is, what is it that you're trying to accomplish with your ACT score? Which schools are you looking into? Are these schools looking for super scoring, or are they looking for a particular ELA or STEM scores based off of the ACT that you feel you can excel in? Now, once we identify the motivation factors behind taking the ACT and trying to say if we're aiming for a 36, we then want to figure out the particulars on how to best accomplish that goal. Now, a lot of times with motivation, we also want to consider how we can plan out our approach. Students who are aiming for a 36 on the ACT need to have a strong sense of motivation, have those goals in mind, and be able to plan to spend time executing. Now, beyond the scope of just simple motivation, though, there are aspects of the ACT that are very important to prepare for, especially students who are aiming for that top-notch score. Specifically, most students when taking the ACT recognize several factors. One, the amount of questions. Two, the timing for each section of the test. So a quick recap on the ACT. You have an ACT section with standard time of 45 minutes and answering 75 questions. Math, 60 minutes, 60 questions. Reading, 35 minutes, 40 questions. And science, also 35 minutes, 40 questions. Now, that's not a lot of time for each section. So in order to aim for that 36, your timing and pacing need to be on point. You need to not have any issues finishing any section of the test, but also have time at the end of each section to go back over certain questions if you find any questions that are confusing on something. Now, many students find that they either have time at the end to go over questions or they feel they might be rushed on through that section. Now, just because you have time at the end doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be a perfect score. Those students, the students trying to go for that 36, have time at the end because they have become efficient with going from question to question, passage to passage, question set to question set, and timing and pacing needs to be really strong. Now, another point to consider when trying to aim for that 36 perfect score on the ACT is this healthy balance of content knowledge and strategies. So looking at the ACT, the English and math sections are viewed as the content-heavy sections of the test. So English, you need to know certain grammar and punctuation rules, as well as rhetorical analysis for certain structures and sentences. For math, you need to understand your algebra, your pre-algebra, geometry, arithmetic, and trigonometry in order to answer specific questions about those topics. On the other half of the test, for the reading and science, many students need to understand how to read quickly, effectively, annotate, and actively engage with the text in order to answer the questions that are referred to after each passage. Similarly, the science section asks students to do almost the same approach for reading, but in this case with data analysis, interpretation of facts and figures as well. So yes, there are aspects of outside knowledge for certain class-specific courses such as biology, chemistry, earth science, astronomy and physics, but the science section is asking you to visually make note of subtle changes, differences and patterns and similarities from one topic to the next. Students need to be able to analyze these quickly and effectively in order to answer those questions. Also, it's important to be able to infer and predict outcomes in both the reading and science sections. Now, these are not content-based topics. Instead, a student needs to be able to develop certain strategies for approaching both the questions and the passages, and even the answers to effectively work through each section. Now, the final point that I'm going to make here, that's also mentioned in the beginning of this blog, is the amount of prep and timeline that a student has. So students who are aiming for a perfect 36 can't simply open up a book the week of the test and plan to get a 36. I mean, yes, I admit there are some students who can do that, but it's rare. However, majority of students need time to prepare for the test, and they need time to learn content, practice, and execute strategies, and also consider things when it makes the most sense for them to take the test. Now, several times we have students who come in who are 3-season sport athletes, for example, and therefore the summer is the best time for them to prep. Now, other times students might have a very hectic spring schedule, in which case we have to plan for the fall with the potential of taking it again in the spring. And finally, if a student's looking to super score for getting that 36 on the ACT, they need to be prepared to take the test multiple times. I highly recommend that you reach out to us at Prepped and Polished just to talk over the strategies and come up with a potential plan of attack that you can work on with one of our tutors, so we can look at your goals and figure out how we can get you there. Now, it's always good to start with a consultation and have us look over either previous practice tests or get you into our offices to take a practice ACT test. Overall, we're happy to help you on your journey to get that perfect score. Now go out there and take control of your education, and I'll talk to you soon.